But then the discharge didn't stop. It was more and more and more.
This week on Bondi Vet.
It's obvious that a big chunk of that nose is missing.
We can look at how aggressive this infection is. In some rare cases, it can spread to the spinal cord and it can spread really all over the body.
Now, I don't treat too many donkeys in Richmond, but I'm always up for a challenge.
The patient resides at a sanctuary that looks after abandoned donkeys.
Hello, Derek.
Hello, Scott. How are you? Welcome to the Isle of Wight.
Welcoming Scott is the sanctuary's manager, Derek.
We've got 93 donkeys.
Wow.
They lead a fantastic life. These donkeys are part of the heritage of this island. They pulled the milk floats, they worked the beaches of Shanklin and Sandown and Ryde. These donkeys didn't ask to be made homeless, they didn't ask to be abandoned, and we're determined that they'll have a proper home here because without us feeding them and looking after them, they have nothing.
Well, they seem very happy and very healthy, but I hear that you've actually got a donkey that's not too healthy, is that right?
There's a donkey we'd like you to see today called Poppy.
Okay.
She's one of our most popular donkeys.
Right.
She's been struggling with a clogging up of her sinuses, causing her a lot of discomfort, and we just simply can't unblock her nose. And so it's been a tough few weeks for her.
Oh, you are nice. Like you a lot. Yes, even with your gunky nose. Eh?
Farm manager Julia has been looking after Poppy, but the donkey's deteriorating condition has now forced her to choose more invasive treatment.
So how long has she had a snotty nose for?
Couple of weeks. We've noticed there was a little bit of discharge, so we used to clean her nose. But then the discharge didn't stop. It was more and more and more.
Poppy is suffering with something called sinusitis, which is an inflammatory condition of the nasal passages. It can be caused by a number of different things, anything from just a pure infection or as a result of something more sinister like cancer.
OK, let me introduce you to our vet.
Always willing to expand his expertise, Scott will be learning some new veterinary tricks from equine vets Kate and Lara as they try to unblock Poppy's nose.
We've brought the X-ray along to show you. I think it gives you a really good visual idea of what's going on. And you can see we've got the white line across here, which is fluid and pus accumulating underneath.
So that's a pool of snot, basically.
Pretty much snot, pus, general mankiness that we need to get out. So what we're going to be doing today is drilling into that sinus and releasing all that gunk, flushing it all out and making her feel a lot better.
So we're actually going to drill a hole into Poppy's head?
We're actually going to drill a hole into Poppy's head.
Oh, my goodness. Hold on. So we're actually going to drill a hole into Poppy's head?
We're actually going to drill a hole into Poppy's head through the skull, take a bit of bone out, have a look inside her head.
Oh, my goodness. We've just fallen in love and now you're going to affect her looks.
On the Isle of Wight, Scott's assisting with an operation to clean out rescue donkey Poppy's badly infected sinuses. Equine vets Kate and Lara make up the surgical team.
She is going to have a hole drilled into her nose, but she's not going to be knocked out fully, which just shows how resilient and how tough these beautiful creatures really are.
Ready for this?
Ready as I'll ever be, yeah.
OK.
The concern is the donkey's infection may be caused by a tumour in her nasal passages. The only way to know is to go inside and take a look.
All right, I'm ready for it.
Just go with the flow,
Yeah, so just if you guys tell me if you're happy with the positioning.
Pushing this drill into Poppy's head, it's quite a frightening experience because you think, how far is this going to go?
It will take a little while, so it's not an instantaneous thing.
Procedures on farm animals are often done under local anaesthetic to avoid the risk of a general anaesthetic and the stress of moving them from their normal environment to a hospital.
That's the hardest bit, is getting started.
Oh, Poppy, my God.
He'll feel it as it goes through. You almost get a pop and you get a relief of the pressure as you're pushing on it. So he'll suddenly dive in and then he'll be through into the sinus.
OK, she's going back.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Right.
Jesus, that was gross. Oh my God, that was revolting.
I'm sorry, sweetie, but that was horrid.
Does it feel like it's free?
Finally, I pop through and it's quite a sickening feeling, but now we can have good access into the nasal cavity and see what's causing that infection for Poppy.
It's amazing. So I'm just using the endoscope and I can see normal, healthy mucosa, which is sort of the membrane covering the nasal cavity, and then a bit of a pool of gross stuff. We haven't found any tumours or anything nasty, so hopefully it's a really good result for Poppy.
It does seem like this is a fairly classic sinusitis, and with good flushing over the next week and antibiotics, Poppy should make a full recovery.
Good girly puppet.
A draining tube will stay in place for a few days to make sure the sinuses are totally cleared.
Despite the fact that she's now got a hole in her head, she's probably thinking, yeah, this is a good day.
Wow. Well, she's had some bad days, clearly. You okay? Yeah, you're lovely. Well, you know, you probably looked nicer, but yeah.
At the Isle of Wight, Poppy's recovering well from invasive surgery to clean out her infected sinuses.
There we go. Good girl, hey? Hey? Yeah, good girl. Nasty surgery. Didn't ruin your appetite, did it? Good girl, and you don't have a snotty nostril anymore. Wow.
I'm just so amazed at how strong and brave and stoic these creatures are. I've drilled a hole into this poor girl's face and she's still nuzzling up to me, giving me kisses. She must be feeling better.
Good girl. Come on, then. Let's get you in. In we go. Come on, then. Let's go see
look who
what
it is.
She is.
Poppy.
There we go. Hello, Poppy. Bella's
And
come
now
to see
Poppy
you.
is up to having visitors. Sanctuary manager Derek has dropped in with one of her best mates.
How are you?
And everybody looks very concerned over the wall, I can see.
Yes. Yeah, there's been quite the audience today. I've felt under pressure, but hopefully I've delivered.
Brilliant.
I'm very lucky to come here to work with these incredible vets and to see Derek and all the great work that he's doing here. These animals need these people, and together it's a beautiful relationship. They're beautiful animals and they're really lucky to have a wonderful place to live.
Thanks for having me, and I hope that Poppy makes a full recovery.
That's great.
Thanks, Derek. You look after that girl for me. Bye, Poppy.
Despite it looking like everything moves pretty slowly around here, things happen.
It's Chris's second week volunteering with the busy Esther Honey Foundation in the Cook Islands.
They've had a lady call in from an outer island, Atataki, which is about 300 kilometres away, with a cat that has part of its nose missing. She's already on her way in now.
Emergency arrivals like this are not unusual for Cook Island pet owners, and Chris is currently one of just a handful of vets on call.
It's a bit of a new situation to be waiting for an animal to arrive, but it's an important one. You're right there. You're Poppy, right? Hello. How are you? Hey, lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
The small one?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's nasty. My first impressions looking into the cage there and seeing small one's nose are that, look, it could be a lot of things. It could be an open wound from a fight, it could be a nasty infection, it could be a virus, or, worst case scenario, it could be cancer. We'll get to the clinic as quickly as we can.
So small one is really important to us, and we are really concerned about the sore on her nose. That's why I've just flown in. She's got the opportunity today to see Chris, so hopefully we'll have a good outcome to this long journey and the long day ahead.
Okay, come through here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for seeing her. We really appreciate it.
All right. There we go. Yeah, wow. So, I mean, that's the first good look I've had at that nose. It's obvious that a big chunk of that nose is missing. So how long's that all been happening for?
So probably 4 weeks ago she had a cold,
Yep.
and then her nose ran, and she constantly licked, and because her tongue is like sandpaper, she licked a divot between her lip and her nose. And it's just got steadily worse for the last 4 days. It started to bleed.
I guess the sight of that blood probably made you more worried.
Yeah, that's just saying it's time to do something.
Yeah. Small one has lost a massive amount of her nose, and it's happened quickly. So obviously, that's of huge concern. What we're dealing with here is clearly very serious. If her temperature's normal, then we start to get to the stage where we can start to rule out a virus.
Yeah.
A bit over 38 at 38.1, 38.2 now. Okay, so that's normal. Yeah. So a lot of the viruses we worried about that can cause erosions around the face of cats, they usually cause ulcers on the tongue or serious irritations and really red inflammation around the mouth. Okay, let's have a little look in here. So this is obviously the problem area.
That's okay.
Her gum colour's nice and pink, so she's got some good circulation happening.
That's good. Okay.
Despite her having a big problem around her nose, the inside of her mouth is actually looking pretty good. There's no doubting how much Poppy cares for Small One. She's just flown over an hour just to have her seen by a vet. My concern is, though, how's she going to handle the news if it's not good? Look at that, and she's lost about 1 centimetre of her nose there. Losing that much of your nose, it's certainly not normal. What I guess has worried me ever since I first saw her is that she actually may have something a little nastier there.
I'm upset, yeah, because I had hoped that it would be a virus, but I think because it's happened so quickly, it's hard to comprehend that it's a huge thing. It's a lot to take in at the moment.
Emergency from you, and the reason there's emergency coming back from me is because there's not a lot more of her nose that she can afford to lose.
Yeah, we're more than worried. Yeah.
In the Cook Islands, Poppy is desperate for help for her much-loved cat, Small One.
My concern is that the tip of her nose, in the last month or so, has developed a skin cancer. The problem with the types of skin cancers that cats get, they're not melanomas. They're not going to spread around the rest of the body like a melanoma can. But what the skin cancers they get actually do is they start to eat away at the area that they're growing in. And cats get something called squamous cell carcinomas. When you look at Small One, unfortunately for her, her nose doesn't have any pigment. It's not black, it's white. And with that white colour means there's no protection against the sun.
So if we had left this, she would probably have died.
Yeah. So that
Shortly.
Yeah, that cancer will eat into her face.
Okay.
And will continue to do so until it's just too much for her.
It probably feels like we've let her down a little bit.
No, you haven't. You've just flown
I
an
know.
hour from another island
Yeah.
to come to a vet to help her out. And her best chance of having a life after today is in acting right now. All right? I know that's a lot to take on. Usually working out a solution as to how you're going to remove this kind of cancer takes weeks or even months. Right now, I've got hours. We don't have the luxury of taking a biopsy and sending it off to a lab and waiting for the test results. We've got 1 day to fix her.
Yeah.
And that day has to be today. Don't want to muck about. I want to actually take her into surgery right now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. We would really, obviously we really love her.
Yeah.
I can't really go in without her.
Well, let's make sure that doesn't happen, huh?
Please. Yeah.
I'm looking at Poppy and the love that she clearly has for a cat. She's heartbroken right now, but what she's hanging out for is some hope. I'm hoping I can give it to her.
Oh, ouchie.
Yeah.
Doesn't look very nice, does it?
No, it doesn't. Hopefully, today ends all that.
At the Esther Honey Foundation in the Cook Islands, the procedure to remove the aggressive skin cancer eating into Small One's face is about to begin.
It's okay.
I'm just trying to remove some dead cells from the surface, and already you can see the problem with this nose is that the blood supply is so great that we're getting a lot of blood coming out straight away.
The fact is, if I was back in Australia, I'd use radiation therapy to treat this kind of cancer. Now, I cannot import that technology into the Cook Islands to use it on Small One. It's just not possible. So we have to go with the next available option. All right, if she's stable, I might start freezing now.
Faced with limited resources, Chris decides to use human medication to try to kill the cancer cells.
So we're just going to do about 30-second applications there.
Okay.
He's using a wart removal treatment containing liquid nitrogen.
Oh, wow.
It's working well. Yeah.
The whole idea here is to use multiple cycles of freezing, thawing, and that way the problem cells, they defrost, they expand when they're frozen, and hopefully then they pop. Then you let them defrost, then freeze them again. That process should actually kill them.
That's 30.
Using a wart removal treatment seems like a crazy idea, but you've got to remember, warts are essentially benign growths. So the same principle applies. You have to penetrate through the outer tissue, get to where that whole tumour is coming from, and kill off those cells.
So we can see that we're getting a nice line of frozen tissue coming away from where I'm applying this, which is exactly what I'm looking for.
5 more seconds. Okay.
I'm probably being a little bit more aggressive than I normally would be, but the way I see it is this may be the only treatment that small one gets.
That's 30.
It's an anxious wait for small one's owner, Poppy.
Nervous. I suppose it's probably all I can think. It's just apprehensive, hopeful.
Just going to do one more. Okay, all right. We're done. The hope is that over the next few days we get a scab forming. It'll then drop off, and underneath that should be healthy tissue. You're just waking up, aren't you? There we go, big yawn. It's gone well.
Has it?
Yeah, it has. Okay. You can relax.
All right.
Yeah. So we've managed to freeze those sections of the nose 3 times.
Wow.
So we gave it a really good go. Okay, and she's just waking up now, and she seems pretty happy there.
Some people might say it's just a cat, but it's still part of your family. Definitely wanted to make sure that we've done everything we can to give her the best opportunity, and I think we've done that. Yeah, you're great. Thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate it.
When it comes to commitment, Poppy is right up there because her love and devotion towards small one just cannot be questioned. This cat clearly means the world to her. Okay, the wait is over. Here she is. So she's had a good chance to rest.
Hello.
You're still a little bit drowsy, but...
In the Cook Islands, it's been 2 hours since small one's unconventional procedure to remove the aggressive skin cancer attacking her face.
Small one. Hello.
Straight back to you.
Did you miss me? Let me see. Hello. Let me see. Oh, that looks excellent. Look at you.
Yeah, so it's just going to dry out a little bit, and she may get a little scab forming there.
No.
But
yes, I'm here. I know. That's okay. That's good.
Seeing Poppy's reaction to having small one back by her side, you'd think they'd been separated for days, not hours. But it just shows you, no matter the language, no matter the country, no matter the destination, that commitment and that love for pets is just the same.
There we go. Good girl. Good girl. There we go. Come on, small one. It's all right. There
All right.
we go. Time to go home.
I'll take you to the airport.
Excellent.
You ready to fly now? Go back to the island?
I feel like we've achieved something today, and I just want to get her home so we can get life back to normal for her and for me. It's been great. Really pleased.
She's going to become a frequent flyer.
I think so too. She gets some air miles.
There's no way of knowing exactly how much time we've managed to buy small one through doing this procedure. But the fact is, without it, she was seriously on borrowed time. You can never accuse Poppy of not moving heaven and earth to do everything she can for her small one. So the two of them, they deserve so many more happy years together.
Appreciate it.
My absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much to everybody, eh?
Okay.
All right.
I'll be checking in, okay?
Make sure you do.
You just give me a reason to visit Atutaki for a holiday.
I might have to do that
A
again.
working holiday.
All right.
All right, safe flight.
Thank you very much.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Cleo, a champion pedigree border collie, has arrived at the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, suffering from a mystery condition.
She's got a discharge from her nose all the time. She licks her nose all the time and it doesn't look right. One day started doing this horrible coughing, sneezing, it sounded like she was drowning in and an asthma attack all at once. And it was just came out of the blue and was like, oh my goodness, what's going on here?
All right. Hopefully it'll be a good visit today, little girl.
Do you want to have a look at my phone? I've got some few photos in my phone.
Proud owners Fiona and Kevin have plenty of brag photos of their national flyball star.
Cleo lives for flyball. It's her whole world. She's obsessed with it. For her not to do flyball, it would be really hard for her, really hard.
How long has it been going on for?
She's only been really bad the last week or two.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's definitely getting worse.
Yes.
Yeah, daily getting worse.
All right.
Emergency vet Lisa Chimes is now waiting for the results of blood tests taken earlier in the week.
So what I'm doing now is I'll just check if she's got air flowing through that nostril. So it's a pretty simple test. Yeah. And that's good. She's got airflow going through both nostrils. That's one good sign. It could be something as simple as a foreign body, like a grass seed that's in there. We can pull it out, problem solved. But then there's more complicated things like fungal diseases and tumours and things like that. Let's wait for those blood results. Once we get them, that will track us in the right direction where we need to go next.
Cleo is everything to us. She's a very, very special little girl. It's just, it's horrible. It's really, really horrible.
The Border Collie's test results have just come in.
Oh, no. Oh, I was really hoping that it wasn't going to be this. Okay. Unfortunately, it shows a very high level of infection called Cryptococcus, which is a fungal infection, a very rare fungal infection.
Cryptococcus is such a rare disease that on average SASH only sees 2 cases a year.
It's found in pigeon droppings, it's found in hollowed trees. A lot of the time we don't actually know where it is. It's an infection that any dog can get. We'll never be able to say that you can prevent an animal from getting it. It's just one of those things that it's bad luck. The next step would be to do a CT scan. Okay, so what we do with that is we can look at her brain and we can look at how aggressive this infection is. In some rare cases, it can spread to the spinal cord and it can spread really all over the body.
And is it fatal?
Well, it depends on where it is, okay? Generally, if it's in the nose alone, the chances of recovery are a lot better than if it's been spread to the rest of the body, particularly the brain. We'll get that scan done. Yes, you will.
Cleo will now be given a CT scan to find out if the infection has spread.
So everything will be all right.
Why Cleo? Why?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it could happen to anyone, I suppose.
Fiona and Kevin just cannot believe how unlucky they are, and we have no answers. It's just lottery and it's bad luck. All right, we'll give you a little injection now and you go to sleep. Yeah. There you go, Cleo. There you go. All right. So we've got the images loaded, so her CT scan images. So I'm walking Kevin and Fiona through to show them the scans. It's just something that's going to be really difficult. Here we can see that the fungus has invaded all the way up her nose to her sinus and now has entered her brain as well.
Well, knowing that it's in her brain, is there going to be any effects that we're going to notice?
Without treatment, it will get worse and eventually it will affect the rest of her brain and cause neurological problems. It's a lot of unknown.
So do you think it's curable? Or will we be able to fix this?
I think we have a good chance of fixing it because we've got it early, but there is a chance that she will die from this. And, you know, the best thing we can do is start treatment straight away. So what we'll do is Cleo will go on medication for several months, and then we're going to be monitoring her with blood tests, and it's the next blood test that's going to be really vital.
It's really quite unbelievable how she can pick up such a weird thing just from sniffing the ground, like all dogs sniff the ground. Really scared, really scared. I just don't want to lose her. Don't want to lose her.
Well, come on, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so we've got the medication. I'm really, really hoping that This is all it takes, okay? I really, really hope that what's in this bottle is going to be the reason that Cleo gets better, because if it doesn't work, she's going to have more invasive treatment and there's a chance she may not survive.
She's quite good with taking her medicine now.
It's been 3 weeks since Cleo was diagnosed with the rare and dangerous fungal infection Cryptococcus. It started in the nose and spread to her brain.
Very good at waiting now, aren't you? No, your favourite time of the day.
There you go, good girl.
Every day, Kevin and Fiona hope this medicine is winning the war.
A couple of weeks after we started giving her the medicine, she went and got a ball and dropped it at my feet. And I literally burst into tears because she hadn't done that for such a long time. It's just, she's doing really well. We're very happy, very hopeful. God, look at that pass. That was a 0 pass. And we won. That's awesome.
The Border Collie is now allowed to do limited exercise, but can no longer compete in her beloved flyball.
They're good flyball dog. We'll get there. Hey, we'll get there.
Cleo's medical bills are already more than $4,000.
Our flyball club, we were really blown away by it. They have decided to run a extra competition in the year. They have said the funds that they raise from that will go towards Cleo's further treatment. I'm getting emotional here.
Just very humbled, very grateful, slightly embarrassed about the whole thing.
Yes.
While Kevin and Fiona's other 2 pets, Kaya and Selena, will be competing, Cleo will have to stay home to stop her getting overexcited.
We sort of have to remind ourselves that no, she's not actually better. We need to find out what the blood test says and find apprehensive about it, but
yes.
Really hopeful. Yeah.
This sounds like the right place.
Lisa has arrived to support the Caring for Cleo fundraiser. It's a huge turnout of teams from Sydney and Canberra, and all the proceeds will go to covering Cleo's medical expenses.
I wish Cleo was here soon. Yeah. Hopefully.
Kevin and Fiona's 2 other family members are eager to race for Cleo.
Fiona's in there with Kaya, getting so excited. Woo! It's just a great spirit round here.
Gotta get that ball! Get that ball!
Go, Selena!
Good girl, yes, clever girl.
Even though Kevin and Fiona are smiling and really enjoying themselves today, you can tell that their heart's not totally here. Their thoughts are back home with Cleo, who's home by herself. She's recovering. She's not strong enough to be here.
Kevin and I would really just like to say thank you to all of you for coming. We're very, very grateful for this. You guys are amazing. We love you all.
It's really touching to see everyone there with a tear in their eye. We all just really feel for them, and we're all hoping, really, really hoping that Cleo is going to pull through this.
Thank you so much for all you've done.
Today, nearly $4,000 has been raised for Cleo.
I know nothing's guaranteed, but we've got fingers, toes, everything crossed, hoping that she'll be able to come back and race again.
Happy to be back here. Yeah, you are happy to be back here.
Fiona and Kevin are back at SASH for Cleo's all-important blood test.
There we go.
They're hoping several weeks of oral medication will have helped the Border Collie defeat the Cryptococcus disease.
Nothing to stress about. You'll be good. Good girl.
Hello, how are you? And how are you? How are you doing, pretty girl? Kevin and Fiona have been counting down the days until today. They've been treating her, following all our instructions, but today is the day we take blood from Cleo, we send it to the lab, and we hope like hell that it's a positive result. And there's no discharge or anything from the nose. Nose is clear.
No, we haven't had any wheezing or
nothing.
Or that horrible breathing that she was doing for a couple of weeks now, haven't we?
Yeah, quite a while.
Yeah.
Even though Cleo's looking good on the outside. The exterior of her is not really reflective of what's going on inside. First girl, Cleo.
Good girl. Good girl.
Cleo's fate is really in this tube. If the levels have gone down, then it's great. She can stay on the medication she's on. But if the levels are the same or higher, her battle's just begun.
Were you a big brave girl? I'm sure you were. Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Even though Cleo's looking so good, I know that she's got disease in her brain. I just don't want to get my hopes up.
That's it. Here we go. Good girl. Hello.
It's the day Fiona and Kevin have been waiting for. The results of Cleo's blood tests will finally tell them whether they're winning the battle to save Cleo from the horrible disease Cryptococcus.
We're expecting it to be good news. Hoping it to be good news, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. Unfortunately, the result is the same. Okay.
That's really... Are you sure?
It's hard to take.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I really wasn't expecting that.
No.
No, that really came from left field.
We had fairly well convinced ourselves that it would be a positive result.
It's honestly one of the hardest pieces of information I've had to give out. They were absolutely shattered.
All right, I know. That means that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not what we were hoping for. But, you know, with it being so rare, we couldn't look into the future and predict what was going to happen.
But, I mean, to look at her, you'd say she was 100% healthy. But we know it's otherwise. We'll find a way through, we always do. Hey, little girl.
So we have a couple of options now. Option one would be to increase the dose of the fluconazole that she's been on and see if we get an improvement.
Yeah.
Or to just cut our losses and start her on intravenous infusion. You can kind of think of it like a human going to get chemo treatment, but the biggest risk with it is that it can be toxic to the kidneys.
It's an unenviable decision for Fiona and Kevin. There are no guarantees with either treatment.
Really sorry.
We were really hoping that we wouldn't have to even think about having to do the next step, but it looks like now we do have to think about it, so.
Now, Cleo, you look after Mum and Dad. That's what you need to do. They've been looking after you, but I think it's your turn to look after them for the next few days. Hey, miss? We haven't lost the battle yet,
No.
okay? So we're not giving up, we have other options, okay? It's just unfortunate and I'm disappointed and I'm sorry. It's really difficult saying goodbye to Kevin and Fiona. They've got to go home now and have a long, hard think about what they're going to do next. I've given them all the treatment options. They know there's no guarantees and the next step is up to them.
Here we go!
As for Cleo, 3 months later, and look who's back in the flyball ring.
Yay, good girl. I didn't actually think we'd get back here. Ready, go! Come on! We're very, very happy to have her back racing and yeah, it's all very exciting. She's just so happy. No being left behind today. No.
Fiona and Kevin decided to take the option of doubling Cleo's medication.
Good girl.
And the champion has showed an amazing improvement.
We've decided not to go ahead with the next level of the treatment, the intravenous drugs, mainly because it's just such a big ask to put her through.
You want me to play?
It's 3 days a week, taking her to the vets, leaving her there, and there's no guarantees that that'll change anything anyway.
The medication hasn't cured Cleo of Cryptococcus, but for now the disease is under control.
Definitely happy with the decision. She's looking fantastic, so that's, you know, pretty much all we can hope for.
Come on, we're going to do it all again.
I'm just so happy that Cleo's back in the flyball ring, doing what she loves. I don't know what the future holds, but what really matters is that right now, Cleo is happy. and that's all that counts.
Yeah, clever little girl.
Hey, good girl.
If you guys loved that video, great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way. That way.